A lot of our crafts and artwork down there at the good old days. The Heyward Fire Department crew, Bob Korth, University of Wisconsin Extension, Adrian Weidevan, Sam Moore, Jim Barrow, Frank Pratt, all from the DNR, Kathy Moe from the U.S. Forest Service, Joey Johnson, Paul Ostrom, Dave Berard, Chris Cole, Mark Bruhe, Kate Egan Bruhe from the State Historical Society, Terry Buckman, the Heyward Little League, Mimi Dalby, and Jim Harris for electrical work. Let's give them all a great hand. We really thank their participation. They did a good job. Thank Rod Lundberg for taking care of our power and letting us use his site and his field here tonight. Rod, you up there? Oh, he's over here. Well, thanks, Rod. Okay, go ahead.
I did want to say thanks to my sidekick, Jimmy Farino, who has been just a bulwark. He's a young guy that started with us with the SEP program, and I can't think of a nicer program for young kids. We've had 2 this summer, and without those guys, our museum would have been nothing, and this event would have suffered a great deal without James and Tony Heredia. So I want to thank them very specially for being young and yet being there when it came to a community event. They've just been so strong. Thank you, boys.
This one? Oh, winners.
You thought we only had one winner in the deer dropping thing, but we've got, here's all the names. You may know them. Joan Dahlstrom, happy birthday, won the grand prize, $250. The next winner was Ken Larson from Winter, N. Olander from Winter, Marlene Wilcox, Terry Fuller from Heyward. Oh, he won the $65 thing, and Jay Glynn from Springbrook. So congratulations to those folks. Okay, tonight we'd like to introduce a special guest that we have with us tonight. Some of you that were at the good old days this afternoon heard him and met him earlier. His name is Mike Dombeck, and he's the Chief of the United States Forest Service out of Washington, D.C. The Forest Service, I believe, has national forests in 30-some states, 39 states, I believe, something like that. What is it, 90 million acres now of national forest land that belongs to all of you people, and you're equal owners in this excellent resource that we have. Well, Mike is the head guy out of Washington, D.C. They call him the Chief, and he'd like to say a few words for you. So, Mike, welcome to Heyward.
Welcome back to Heyward.
Well, thank you, Dave and Andrea. And we need to get on with this concert, but I want to say a couple of things. It's really sort of incredible to be standing here at the very place that Rod Lundberg cracked the whip on us when we were in high school in physical education. And earlier this afternoon I mentioned Jim Klippel's physics class. I could never call him Jim then, but I also mentioned that my daughter got an A in physics, and Jim, you know, I can call you Jim now. I couldn't then. I understand that physics knowledge skips generations, and so what you did for me, you know, showed up in the A my daughter got. So thank you. I want to, it is amazing to be here, and after having spent 4 years at Heyward High and several years at Lake School, just to be at this very spot where you were at 30 years ago, and just want to thank the teachers and the people that had something to do with my training and education, because it's so important, and I think sometimes we forget how important education is, and it's something that no one can ever take away from any individual. It's something you acquire, you work hard at, and it's very important for what we do. And I just want to say it's really neat to be home. I spent the last week out in the Moose Lake area fishing and swimming, and just visiting old friends and making some new friends. It's been great. I want to ask Mary Mosier to come up here, and want to acknowledge some people that really do the work in pulling this kind of event off. And the centennial and the old days of Heyward are really part of the sesquicentennial of the state of Wisconsin. And Mary, as the representative of Governor Tommy Thompson, I just want to present you with, where's George? Here, George. I just want to present you with a certificate of recognition, and it reads that in recognition of the sesquicentennial of the great state of Wisconsin and our long history together as partners, cooperators, and leaders in the stewardship legacy of our natural resources. And if something that northern Wisconsin has that we're recognized for around the country is it's the wonderful forests that we have and that we're so very proud of. And please present this to the governor on behalf of not only the Forest Service, but all of us that appreciate what you do, Mary.
Oh, I want to say, I'm going to thank you on behalf of the governor. Well, thank you, Mike Downbeck. I just want to say that on behalf of the governor and the state of Wisconsin, we really appreciate this. And I look forward to, in my position as his Northern Director, and also our agencies in working in partnership with stewardship with our forests and natural resources. So thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Yeah. You know, events like this don't just happen. It takes a tremendous amount of planning, and I want to recognize the organizing committee of Good Old Days. First and foremost, the leader of the group, Dave Thorson. You want to come on up, Dave? And you know, this week Dave needs just a little bit of help. And Andrea, would you come up? Andrea Whitwer is president of the Sawyer County Historical Society. And some of their colleagues that helped organize this event and put it together. We also need to recognize Sue Swenson, the community volunteer, Ron Hobart, coordinator of Voyager Canoe Adventure, Paul Mitchell, editor of the Sawyer County Record newspaper, and Trudy Tyson, community volunteer. I want to present you with a certificate of appreciation that again reads, in appreciation for your welcome and in support of sharing the message of stewardship and cooperation and caring for the great legacy of natural resources that we have in the state of Wisconsin. I congratulate you and thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Dave.
That's great. That's great. All right.
Good.
Okay.
Good. And
Okay.
on with the concert. Thank you.
I'll be with him Wednesday, so I'll present.
No muskies.
I have yet to catch
We have to
up on
test these fireworks just to see if they're going to work. So before the concert, we're just going to have something to wake you up this evening.
Thank you.
Showtime, folks. I'd like to introduce to you the director of the John Philip Sousa, first John Philip Sousa Memorial Band, Scott Crosby. There you go, Scott. Here we go.
everybody. Thank you. Thank you, and thanks for coming. We are sponsored by the city of Edina, down in Minneapolis, Minnesota. That was an 18th century view of our national anthem. We'll get on with a march that John Philip Sousa wrote and was paid the grand total of $37.50 to write the Washington Post. Thank you. Before we started, Jim Michaels, the drummer back there, told me that I better not tell any Ole and Lena jokes because they're sitting in the third row. So I will take it easy on that. However, Fritz Kringe is sitting up there, and I know Fritz because when we were coming in on the bus, I noticed there was a big sign that said, "Boat for sale." And, you know, this is lake country up here. I thought, I'm looking for a boat. This is the place to buy a boat. So I told the bus driver to pull over. I got to take care of some business here. I run up to the door and I say, "Hey, you got a boat for sale?" And he says, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "Well, I'm looking for something to do some fishing." He says, "Well, what do you, I still don't know what you mean there." And I said, "Well, there's a sign in your front yard. It says boat for sale." And he says, "Yeah, I got the John Deere and I got the combine and they're boat for sale." So we'll get on with a lovely arrangement of America the Beautiful. Thank you again. We have a great march next. It's written by John Philip Sousa called King Cotton. He wrote this for the Cotton States Exposition down south at the turn of the century. He had a contract to appear there with his 80-piece band. Like those marches? I had another interesting thing happen. We stopped in Spooner for a little lunch, and we were at the Perkins there, and I don't know how you are, but I can't help but eavesdrop sometimes in the booth behind me. But I heard a couple of old guys talking back there, and one of them said, "Say, have you been catching any good fish lately?" He says, "Oh yeah, the lake just around the corner from me, I pulled out a 15-pound northern." The other fella said, "Well, no, I don't. I find that a little hard to believe. I mean, I've fished these waters too, and I don't think that kind of fish is in there." He says, "No, that's true. 15 pounds. How about you?" "Well, I was fishing the other day, and I pulled up one of these old lamps that they used to hang on the sailing ships. It probably weighed about 50 pounds, and the candle was still lit." The other guy says, "Well, I know that's a lie. You take 5 pounds off the northern, I'll blow out the candle." This next one is kind of a two-step, kind of a rag. I don't know what it is, but it's fun music. It's called Mad Stop Two-Step. Thank you. This next march Sousa wrote and dedicated to the U.S. Navy. It's called Glory of the Yankee Navy. By the way, I was in the all-you-can-eat section at Perkins. And I finished my plate, and I wanted some more. And the waitress says, just a minute, I'll get the cook. And the cook came out, and I said, I want some more. And he says, you can't have any. And I said, well, it's an all-you-can-eat restaurant. He says, that's all you can eat. Thank you. 100 years ago, concerts like this were commonplace in town squares, little bands about our size playing to groups probably much smaller than you. And it was a common thing to bring a soloist out of the band and do a little feature number. And we stumbled on a turn-of-the-century piece. The music is, as you can see, very small, yellow, and crumbling. And Dawn is going to play her piccolo, and this is called Through the Air. Dawn Loman.